Okay, today we're going to do a class on how to make a t-shirt tunic. T-shirt tunic is some really basic starter garb. It's a no-sew project. It's really good to get kids started in making their own garb, and also new beginning amp garters. It's not a bad thing to start with until you can get into either sewing garb or purchasing some that more fits your persona. But this will get you started with something that's pretty cheap, really easy. You can do it in just a few minutes. So what you're going to need to get started: you will need a t-shirt. Try to pick one that's a few sizes larger. You will also need a pair of scissors, and you'll need some string of some sort, either some yarn. This is a shoelace that's just going to get me by for today, but some leather cord, yarn, just whatever kind of fits you, some twine. Depends on what you want your t-shirt tunic to look like when you get done. Now, to get started, what we're going to do basically is we're going to cut out these necklines, cut out the factory seams. We're going to cut off the sleeves. These, depending on how you want the tunic to look, you can cut them at an angle, or you can just cut them flat off the ends. And you'll do that on both sides. Now, I'm not going to do it today, but I'll take a seam ripper and I'll remove this pocket here. And you can also remove the seam at the bottom if you would like. Now, I'm going to leave this one. It's not going to hurt what I'm looking for here. So to start with, we'll cut these seams off. I'm just going to go straight with my sleeves, which is pretty straightforward and simple. I'm going to cut just inside of where the stitching is, just like that. Okay, you can just set those aside. You can save those scraps. You never know, they might come in handy. Ponytail holders, if you make a bunch of them, I believe you can weave these into a nifty little pot holder on one of those little pot holder looms. Now, I'm going to remove this collar. This one has the stitched in, the printed on tag. If you can avoid getting a shirt that has one of those, that'd be great. But for my demonstration today, I'll just go with it. So I'm going to start by making a fold so I can make a snip just inside my seams, and then I'm just going to go around the entire neckline. And remove that factory collar out. And the reason why you want to kind of have a rugged, rough, handmade look, so these factory seams and edges aren't really going to go for that. While they did sew their clothes and garments back in the day, they did not have these nice, beautiful machined collars and hems and stuff that we do now. They would be handmade. Plus, this is going to be more toward a peasant style garb. Now, I'm going to go ahead and remove this other sleeve. Just real quick and simple. If it's a little rugged, it's not going to hurt anything. It might actually go along with your aesthetic, especially if you're going to go with a more peasant-y style shirt. This one's actually going to be for a pirate style shirt, so a little bit of rough around the edges is not going to hurt anything. Now, like I said, normally I'd remove this pocket, which I'm going to later, but for right now I'm going to leave it in. And the next step I'm going to do is I want a laced up collar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give me a little bit more plunge on this neckline. Kind of V that down a little bit and back up. And I'm going to give it a straight cut right down the middle. Just a few inches. It doesn't have to go a long way. Now, to sew it, we're just going to make snips for our eyelets. Just make a little crease, and you just a little cut. And see, we get two more on each side, this side and that side. All right. I'm going to just do the same thing on this other side. Make a fold and a snip. Line these up, a fold and a snip. A fold, snip, and snip. Now, next step, I'm going to turn it inside out. The reason why I'm turning it inside out is, okay, this shirt's not going to work too good because it has this lovely little sewn line. But normally you want to turn it inside out. That way you can give this little rough edge out there, and it kind of gives a little better look. Especially if you have a shirt with a logo, you can turn it inside out and it hides all those logos on the inside. If you're just using a shirt that you got around the house instead of something you just went and bought from the store purpose for that. Now, next step, since I'm already to this point, I am going to lace this up with my shoestring. Like I said, yarn works perfectly fine for this, probably a little bit better. Gives it a nice rustic look. This shoestring looks really, 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 I don't know, finished. I guess machine made. So this is just for demonstration anyway. Somebody's not going to wear this permanently. Let's see, finished lacing. Now, our shirt's all laced up. I can take and cut these off, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. Now, if you cut off any excess, you'll want to either tie a knot so it doesn't fray, like so. If I can get, there we go. Tie a little knot on the end to keep it from coming unfrayed, or you can also, depending on the fabric or what it's made out of for the thread or yarn, you can burn the ends. If it's synthetic, it'll melt and seal them. But for natural fibers, you'll probably need to tie it off. So anyway, there you go. That's a nice, simple t-shirt tunic. And this, like I say, good starter garb, beginner garb, or something your kids want to make their own garb. And they be something that they handmade, they wear, and they're kind of proud of. It's a really simple no-sew project. So this gives us, for our pirate, a tunic. Now, I also want to show you how to make a no-sew, no-fuss pirate's vest. So the pirate's vest, I started with a t-shirt. I went ahead and I've cut out the neckline completely to remove that neckline. I removed our sleeves, and I just stopped right at the edges of the old hems for the sleeves, for the seams. And that's going to keep it from fraying and keeping it hopefully from ripping or tearing. Again, like I said, this is real simple. It's not meant to last a long time or be for rugged use, but it's something kind of, like I say, starter garb to get you going, and also something children can make for little costume ideas. Now, again, I'll seam rip this pocket off. Right now I don't have my seam ripper and it's too long for this video. If you can buy a t-shirt without a pocket, do that instead. Let me turn it around so I can start right here at my neckline. And for a vest, it's going to be just as simple as me cutting a straight line down the middle. And I can ensure a straight line by folding it in half, and I can either mark this with chalk or iron in a nice crease in there. But for this project, I'm going to just eyeball it. Now folding it, I can kind of see my crease. Now, I'm going to cut this straight down the middle. And there. Just like that, it is a nice opened vest. So, now we have the vest. Like the vest, open it up. Here's our shirt. My shirt with the vest. See what it looks like. Tuck it in. And there you have some nice simple garb. A shirt and a vest. And that only took a few minutes, no sewing required. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. Your child can do it. Help your child with the scissors. Safety scissors will work. They don't have to be pointy, but we don't want anybody to have any injuries. But it's pretty simple, and then in just a few minutes they can make their own garb. Now let me see if I can find one of my kids and get them to show you what it looks like. As you can see, that just a few minutes project turned into a nice little pirate tunic and vest for somebody. All right, turn around. Tell them bye, William.
Bye.